Hey, you guys. I hope you're having a good evening and that this homework is treating you well. I just wanted to post this video to sort of help you out here with solving for a single variable when we have a situation with more than one. And in all of these equations, it's important to realize that we need to get rid of everything that is not y. So I'm going to start here with a really simple example. I'm actually going to change this. 3y is equal to 6x. Well, what's the thing we need to get rid of? The 3. If 3 is gone, if I pretend that it's completely gone here, color this in, the only thing left on this side is y equals. And that's exactly what I want. And so with that in mind, I'm going to do everything I can to get rid of 3. And I have to ask myself, do I add it? Do I subtract it? Do I multiply? Do I divide it? Those are really my four choices, the four main math operations, right? Well, the thing to remember is right now you are multiplying it by y. So we're going to do the inverse. We're going to divide it. And what I do to one side, I must do to the other. I'm going to end up with y is equal to 6 divided by 3 is 3x. Now sometimes it doesn't work out that pretty. Sometimes if we divide both sides by the number that's there, we get something that's not particularly reducible. And so here's an example of that. I'm going to get y on the left side. 4 divided by 4 is 1, or 1y. And over here I have 10 divided by 4. Well, that's okay. We're actually going to just leave it as 10 over 4 and write that next to x. 10 over 4x. 10/4 is our coefficient. And that's fine. And you could reduce this, make it a little easier on yourself. This is y equals 5 halves x if you divide 10 and 4 both by 2. So this right here is this solved. So that's the answer there. A little trickier, but again, not too difficult. All we did is divide by 4, and then we reduced the fraction. Now this last situation is a bit of a doozy. What you're going to see here is we have x and y on the same side. But again, you just circle everything that's not y. We can take some steps to get rid of these things. And I do want to fix something here. This minus sign actually goes with the 4, so I'm going to circle that together. And now I have to use my inverse order of operations, SAD me P. And if you look through SAD me P, there are two operations right here. We have subtraction, obviously. We have minus 4y, so we are subtracting from x. Or you could look at this as positive x, so we could consider that addition, depending on your perspective. But we also have multiplication, 4 times y. So the one we have to get rid of first is this one, and what is the thing that's being added? Well, it's x. So let's think about this. How could I get rid of a plus x, a positive x? I'm going to erase these circles to make it a little more apparent. If this is positive x, I need to do minus x. You might be tempted to say plus x because there's a minus sign here, but again, we already talked about that. Minus sign is going with the 4 over here. So after I do this, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. We're going to get minus 4y. The negative stays there. The x's cancel. And you get, on the other side, 6 minus x. Now I have one more step. Again, just like the last problem, divide by negative 4. Now this is tricky, but not impossible on the right side. Let's think about it. If I'm dividing these two numbers by negative 4, I can just divide each of them. So let's see here. 6 divided by negative 4, we'll just reduce that to negative 3 over 2. And then I have negative x over 4. Well, I'm just going to remember that my coefficient here is 1. And so this is actually positive because it's negative divided by a negative. Positive 1/4 x. And that's it. I've got my y by itself. The deed is done. Honestly, if you wanted to, to recognize that y was alone even just right here, at this step, that's fine, but do realize that we want our equation to be in slope-intercept form, and right here it's kind of difficult to tell what our slope and y-intercept is. Whereas here, you can clearly see that 1/4 is the slope. That's the number next to x. And that negative 3/2 is the y-intercept. It's the number not next to x. So if I wanted to graph this, I go down negative 3/2, which is also negative 1.5, and then I would go up 1 over 4, up 1 over 4, and I could graph this linear equation. So I hope that helps. Make sure you rewind and go back through this if that helps you. Good luck on the homework. Hope that helps.